Welcome. Here's another lesson on measurements. Today's lesson is customary unit of capacity. You, the learner, will be able to identify cup, pint, quart, and gallon. You also will convert customary unit of capacity. Customary unit of capacity. You have cups, that's the smallest, pint, that is the second, quart, that is the third size, and gallon, that is the largest. So we are going to learn how we are the measurements in each of these. You will be able to identify customary tools in measurement. You're going to convert smaller units to larger units. You're going to convert larger units to smaller units. How to measure capacity. On the left, we have a measuring cup. On the right, we have measuring spoons. I'm certain that you've seen this in cupboards at home. Measuring capacity. Measuring capacity. Capacity is the amount a container can hold. 2 cups equals 1 pint. So here we have 2 cups, and that will give us 1 pint. 2 pints is equals to 1 quart. So now we're going to take those 2 pints and we will get 1 quart. 4 quarts equals a gallon. So let's go over again. 2 cups, 1 pint. 2 pints, 1 quart. 4 quarts, 1 gallon. Here we have 2 cups equal a pint. We have 2 pints equal a quart. Now we have 4 quarts equal 1 gallon. Now let's look at choose the unit you would use best. Okay, we're going to either choose cup, pint, or quart, or gallon. The first one, a bathtub. What would you use to fill a bathtub? Would you use a gallon, a quart, or a pint? Let's go bathtub, gallon, or cup. So GAL is the abbreviation, the short for gallon, and C is the short for cup. Yes, you will choose A. You will use the gallon to fill up a bathtub. What would you use to fill up a coffee mug? Would you use quarts? QT is quarts, and we know that C is cup. What would we use? Yes, we will use cups to fill up a coffee mug. What about a bucket? What would we use to fill a bucket? Would we use a cup or quart? That's right, we will use quarts to fill up a bucket. Okay, let's look at which containers will hold more. So you're buying juice. Which one will have the most juice? 2 pints or 3 cups? That's right. 2 pints will be more than 3 cups. Number two, you have 5 pints and we have 2 gallons on, or 2 quarts, sorry. 5 pints and 2 quarts. What will be the most? Right, the 5 pints will be more than the quarts. Now, number three, we have 4 quarts and 2 gallons. Which one would be more? 2 gallons, because 4 quarts will only fill up 1 gallon. Let's find the missing number. Now think. When we change from a larger unit to a smaller unit, the number of the unit increased. So we multiply. Here we have 8 quarts and equals blank pints. We want to find out how many quarts, 8 quarts, how many pints will equal 8 quarts. So remember, when we go from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we multiply, and we go from a smaller to a larger, we divide. So quarts is greater than pints. So how many pints equal a quart? We know that there are 2 pints that equal a quart. So our answer will be 2 times 8. And so 2 times 8 will give us 16. So 8 quarts will equal 16 pints. Let's look at the second one. Remember, when we change from a larger to a smaller, we multiply. Here we have 11 gallons. And we want to find out how many quarts that will be. So we're going from larger to smaller or smaller to larger. Gallons is bigger than quarts, so we have to multiply. We have to find out how many quarts equal a gallon. We know that there are 4 quarts equal 1 gallon. Therefore, we have to multiply 11 times 4, give us 44. So our answer will be 44 pints. Sorry, quarts. Let's try another one. Let's look at another one. We're going from 16 pints equals blank quarts. So the question is, are we going from larger to smaller or smaller to larger? Remember that pints is smaller than quarts. So we're going from small to large. So it means that we have to divide. How many pints equal a quart? 2 pints. So we have 16 pints. So we have to divide it by 2, which will equal to 8. So our answer is 8. Now let's try some. Okay, we have 2 pints equals a cup. So which is bigger, pints or cups? Pints is bigger, so we're going from larger to smaller. How many cups equal a pint? 2. So we will say 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay? Number 2, we have 4 pints equals blank cup. We're going from larger to smaller, smaller to larger. We're going from larger to smaller. So larger to smaller tells us we have to multiply. So 2 cups equals 1 pint. So we have 2 times 4 equals 8. Number 3, we have 4 gallons and we have a quart. We go into a quart. So remember that 4 quarts equal a gallon. So we're going from larger to smaller. So we said 4 times 4 equals 16. Number 4, 5 quarts equal a pint. So we're going from what? Larger to smaller or smaller to larger. So remember that pint is larger than quart, so we have to multiply. So we have 2 pints equal a quart, so we have to have 2 times 5 equal 10. Number 6, gallons and quarts. Remember that gallons is larger than quarts. How many quarts is equal to a gallon? 4. So 4 times 6, 24. And then number 6, pints, quarts, sorry, and cups. Remember, 2 cups equals a pint. 2 pints equal a quart. So that will be 4. 4 times 1 is 4.